Michael Oppenheimer and Dr. Stephen Rooney, two of the foremost global warming alarmist scientists. So this is what Seth Bornstein said. Let me try and put you more on the spot, Mike and Steve, talking to the scientists. I know there's no attribution. You haven't done attribution studies, but if you ballpark it right now and had to put a percentage number on this, on the percent that the heat wave, the percentage of blame, what percentage of blame could you put on anthropogenic climate change? That's man-made climate change on this current heat wave, on the and the fires, and what percentage would the two of you use? And well, Dr. Oppenheimer said, he is a scientist, he said, come on, I'm not going to answer that. Well, yes, I will answer it. My answer is I won't do it. You know that we have to do things carefully, because if you don't, we're going to end up with bogus information out there. People will start disbelieving because you'll be more wrong more often. Still quoting now, this is not the kind of thing I want to do off the top of my head, nor do I think it can be done, convincingly without really doing careful analysis. So I'll pass on this one and see if Steve, that's the other scientist, has a different view. Well, Dr. Steve Rennie said, well, I already got way too hypothetical on my last answer. Yeah, it's probably really dangerous for us to just lob out an answer. Well, this goes on and on and on, and I have all this down, which will actually be in the record at this point, but it is redundant, because he keeps trying to get them to say that there's a percentage of chance that this warm weather is due to global warming. Now, we got to stop for a minute, because we seeing that Seth Bornstein was asking an inconvenient question. One of the moderators tried to step in and tell the AP reporter that his question was a bad one. Let me quote that again. It's Susan Household, the moderator for the event. Seth, most of the scientists I talked to say it's a controlling factor, and that what we can say, and that it's really not even really a well-posed question to ask for a percentage, just because it's just what you're asking for, really, and she stammered around quite a bit, is for a model to determine the chances of this happening without climate change or with climate change, and models are not very good.
Yeah,
so I'd have to see how he responded. He said, I understand. I've been covering this for 20 years. I understand. I don't need a lecture from you. Thank you very much. What I'm asking for is, and he went on and tried to get it. Obviously, he never was able to get it. Here's the irony. Their website specifically explains that the purpose of the call is to give reporters a link relating hot weather to human-caused global warming. It states, quote, Climate Communication hosted a press conference featuring experts discussing the connections between extreme heat and climate change, but when pressed, they couldn't make the link. Again, Bornstein asked a great question, a question that badly needed to be asked. But unfortunately, none of the information appeared in his article for the AP. Without that link, Bornstein was forced to make his article about what global warming could look like in the future. But in doing so, he left out any mention of uncertainty expressed by the scientists. Bornstein quoted Chris Field, a leading author of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Keep in mind, that's the United Nations who started
this is how they waste our time and dollars.
Who are stacking the scientists, and he was one of the individuals. He said, according to Field, this report warns of unprecedented extreme weather events due to global warming. But as usual, Bornstein failed to mention that even the IPCC, which normally heightens the fear factor as much as possible, admitted in that same March report that there is significant uncertainty regarding linking extreme weather events to human causes. Also missing from the article was the mention of Bornstein's interview with climatologist Judith Curry. Judith Curry was Georgia Institute of Technology. Fortunately, she was good enough to post her answers on her blog since he didn't use it. As Curry explained, quote, we saw these kinds of heat waves in the 1930s, and those were definitely not caused by greenhouse gases. Weather variability changes on a multi-decadal time scales associated with large ocean oscillations. I don't think that what we are seeing this summer is outside the range of natural variability for the past century in terms of heat waves, particularly in cities.